Business Administration here in UST. He finished his MA in Economics in UST in 2005, his BS Economics in PUP in 2001, and he also finished his PhD in Economics here in UST last year. So ganyan lang si Sir pero ekonomista po yan. He is currently connected here with the Center of Social Science. Currently, si Sir Ronnie po ay program leader, so meaning several projects and are under his leadership. Program leader of the very interesting balut research. That is so hard to remember the title, the entire title. But Sir Ronnie can discuss that maybe someday with you. But right now, he has a multi-million funding on duck industry, wherein he's trying to make sure that balut is saleable. Do you eat balut?
Yes.
Sorry. Okay. So he is my boss for the project on balut. So I'm one of the projects, and he's the program leader. All right. Sir Ronnie as well has done work on syntax, which is why I've invited him forced him to be here this afternoon. Wala po siyang pasok, so sakripisyo. Thanks sa inyo lahat to sakripisyo ng lahat. Sir Ronnie worked on syntax with the DOH, and so without further ado, I give the floor to Sir Ronnie.
So for the health economics, first, what is health economics? No? So it is the study of the allocation of the limited resources. So what are the limited resources? So this will be the goods and services on health. And then it deals with the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services related to health. So for the production, that includes the medicine, other medical instruments, and then for the distribution, who will benefit from those production, and who will consume the goods and services related on health. Then it is limited because we cannot cater all the demands of the population, the needs and wants of the population. So what's the difference between the needs and wants? The needs will be the things that the population needs for them to be able to survive, while for the wants is hindi siya necessity for the population. Without the wants, they can still survive. And then in health economics, we can broken down into two major parts of economics. That will be macro economics and microeconomics. For the macroeconomics, it is for policy decision, so more on the government side or more on the Department of Health role. And then for the microeconomics, it is focusing on the industry or the hospitals or the association of doctors or hospitals or nurses. Then according to Haycox, health economics reflects a universal desire to obtain a maximum value of money by ensuring not just the clinical effectiveness, but also the cost effectiveness of healthcare production. So the population wants to maximize their money on having better goods and services related to health. And then the value of money implies either a desire to achieve a predetermined objective at least cost, or desire to maximize the benefits to the population of patients served from a limited amount of resources. So here, why is it that goods or medicine have different prices? Why is it that the professional fee of doctors differs? It is because of the specialization, and it is also because of the supply of doctors and supply of medicine then. If there is only one doctor who specializes in this area, so the professional fee of that doctor will be higher compared to the others. So we have 4 basic questions in economics. So we have first what to produce, next who will produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. So what to produce now? So what what medicine to be produced or what services to be produced by a sector. Then, who will produce that medicine? Is it the private sector or is it the government? If the government, maybe the price will be lower. If the private sector will produce a specific medicine, then since we know that they are somehow capitalists or profit takers, so the price will be higher compared to the production of, coming from the government. Then how to produce? So by outsourcing or by getting more scientists or doctors that will produce a certain medicine to cater a certain population. And then for whom to produce? Who will benefit from that medicine? Who will benefit from that instrument? Have you seen the Constant Gardener movie? A pharmaceutical company produces medicine and then introduced to Africa. Then if the medicine is effective, then they will sell it to other countries. So yun yung story ng Constant Gardener. So, yeah. And then what is the importance of discussing health economics? No? So why do we need to focus on health? Why do we need to focus on the concern of nurses, doctors, hospitals? No? So here, the main objective of the economy is the productivity of its labor force. So the productivity of labor force is a function of education and health. If your labor force is well educated, most of them are high school graduate or college graduate, then their productivity will be higher. And if the productivity is higher, then the wage and salary will be also competitive or higher. And if your labor force is healthy, then we assume that they are productive. Hindi sila nagkakasakit, then they can do more work. So then they can be considered as productive. Then the economy depends on labor force, education, and health. If your labor force is well educated and healthy, then labor force will become productive. They will produce more. Then they will contribute more for the economy. Then our economy will grow much faster. So that is why health is a form of capital, human capital, or like education. Education is part of the human capital of our labor force. So, in taking into account the economic situation of the Philippines, so we need to understand first the healthcare industry. No? So, the number of hospitals by region, the licensed private hospitals, and the government hospitals, number of doctors and nurses by region. I did not include the table regarding the number of hospitals, doctors, and nurses by region. Kasi it is part of another research regarding health econ din. But in that table, naka-indicate how many hospitals or doctors or nurses are in Metro Manila, outside Metro Manila, Luzon, outside, excluding Metro Manila, how many doctors, nurses, hospitals in Visayas, and then in Mindanao. In that table, makita na the bulk of hospitals, doctors, and nurses are in Metro Manila. And then konti lang yung in Visayas and Mindanao. So that is an issue for the productivity of our labor force. Then another issue is the affordability of healthcare. So yes, we have the PhilHealth, but there are some issues regarding PhilHealth. No? Then accessibility of healthcare or health services. In some regions, merong health center, but there's no people, no? Doon sa center na yun.
No productive.
So, no doctors, no nurses, medical staffs or employees, ano lang, facility lang, semento lang, no? So, I have seen those health centers sa provinces, no?
Infrastructure.
Yes, infrastructure lang, no? Para lang may ma-budget si the representative of that district. Then, another issue is to, after determining those figures, then we need to compare our healthcare industry to other, as our neighbors, no? Particularly the ASEAN members. Kung we are much better than the other ASEAN members, then we need to compare ourselves to other Asian countries naman for us to be able to improve our performance. And then, just like Ma'am Karin mentioned earlier regarding the DTI BOI, so we made a roadmap under the DTI BOI before regarding medical tourism roadmap and Philippine retirement industry roadmap then. So during the meeting, nandun yung the executive director of I don't know what specific department from DOH, then other members of the technical working group of the roadmap. So medical tourism now is a positive issue, no, for economic growth. Because of medical tourism, somehow our economy is improving. So, alam niyo yun, regarding medical tourism, they are coming here para mamasyal, and then at the same time, to
Spend money.
to spend money for a medical treatment. No? So yeah. And then, we also suggested other agencies na to be included in the medical tourism sector. And the head agency will be the DOH. Then, how much budget ba ina-allocate ng government for the health industry, no, in the Philippines? So, the total health expenditure as a percentage of GDP is only 4.71%, meaning out of the trillion pesos of budget, 4.71% doon goes to health sector. Then, out of the total expenditure on health, private and public, or public and government, private and government, how much doon coming from the private, no? So that will be 65.72% came from the private expenditure on health. So yung galing sa government is only 34% lang. So yun. And this data is from the WHO. So if the government wants to improve the productivity of its labor force, maybe we need to increase the budget for health, no? Coming from the government. Now, regarding the demand and supply on health, so first for the supply side, we have the health services. For the health services, it can be yung sa mga about internal medicine or internal treatment, about yung heart, lungs, brain, kung naman, no? And then it also includes yung sa skin, yung mga derma, no? Yung medyo highly demand area, no, from the population. So kasama yun sa health services. And then, just like what I mentioned kanina, regarding the doctors, nurses, and staff, so how many doctors do we have, nurses, medical staffs, and then do we have enough supply of our medicines sa pharmaceutical industry, or limited yun. And if it's limited, then the price of that specific medicine will be much higher. No? But if the supply is more than enough, then the price will be lower naman. And then, pero then later, I will mention the prices, no, ng medicine. Bakit? Why is it that they have the same function, pero the price differs? No? And then the supply side also includes the new technologies, no. Yung sa regarding the medical roadmap, I also included yung assets of the other hospitals in Metro Manila, Luzon, in Cebu, and then also in Davao. So some of the hospitals investing on new technologies for them to be able to cater the demand of the population, the local and the foreign demand. Same with the equipment. And then who demands health services, goods and services on health. No? So the population. So as the population increases, demand on health increases as well. But which specific population? So we need to determine the income class of the population. The class A, B, C, D, E. So iba yung demand ng class A, B, C, D, and E. No? For the gender, iba din yung demand of the male population and then female population regarding goods and services on health. Then, also in gender, iba yung demand of ng toddlers, ng teens, and ng adults. Then, the health condition. So, yung healthy labor force, iba yung demand niya for the goods and services ng health. Yung may sakit, iba din yung demand niya. No? Health behavior. So, if you are health conscious, iba yung demand mo for goods and services. If you are not health conscious, so kahit ano kinakain natin, so regardless kung anong effect niya sa katawan natin, so iba din yung magiging demand niya for goods and services. For the health behavior, di ba? Kapag ayaw mong tumaas yung cholesterol mo, then you will eat more vegetable. Lifestyle, di ba? So, then if you are not health conscious, o bahala na, no? Kahit may mantika, okay lang. Then education. So, how does education affects the demand? So, if the population is well educated, alam niya na kapag kinain niya to, then ano yung effect niya sa katawan niya, so then he will demand something ng some goods and services on health. So, posibleng palagi siyang magpapa-check up or magtitake siya ng ganitong medicine because well-educated or well-informed yung population mo. And then advertisement. So DOH keep on advertising, informing the public na pumunta sa doctor, magpa-check or something. So then because of that, then demand will increase. So better health increases the productivity of the labor force of a certain country. And then health consumption can be considered as an investment of the labor force. So tayo, if we consume more goods and services on health, then it means that we are investing on health, no? Para tayo maging healthy, well-maintained yung body, no? Then for us labor to become productive. And it is part of the human capital ng labor force natin. Bawal magkasakit. So, the pharmaceutical companies and other health sector are producing more goods and services. Pero how do we value yung goods and services na yan? Ibig sabihin ng how do we value, how do we price yung medicine natin and other services natin. So just like what I mentioned kanina regarding sa Africa, no? So kapag medyo mahirap yung sakit, then the price of goods and services will be much higher. If limited yung resources, limited yung gamot, limited yung specialized doctors, no? Then the cost will be much higher. If the equipment is very expensive, the cost of producing the equipment is much higher compared to others, and then limited lang yung supply ng specific equipment na yun, then the cost of service of that equipment will be much higher then. So yeah. Then, for the pharmaceutical company, so they are producing medicine kasi nga there's a demand. So if the demand is high, kahit na they can produce more to offset this demand, still the price is much higher. Kasi nga they are somehow capitalistic, quote-unquote, no? Or they need to earn something, no? Or they need to maximize their profit to maintain the production of their company. So just like Ma'am Karin mentioned earlier regarding syntax. So I'm not going to give you all the information nung sa syntax na yan. Kasi may disclosure something. So yung kapresent ko lang yung secondary data na available kahit saan. So this data is from the PSA, Philippine Statistics Authority. So before we have 4 tiers, no? Then naging isang tier na lang, which is the 30 pesos excise tax on a pack of cigarette. No? So is the 30 pesos enough for us to be able to bring down the smoking prevalence, no, in the Philippines? So I have no idea regarding the price ng pack of cigarettes. No? Ang alam ko lang, yung first stick dati is piso, and then now is 2 pesos per stick. Hindi ko sure na. But in other countries, the price ng pack of cigarettes is between 250 pesos to 300 pesos. So talagang hindi afford ng low-income person or middle-income person. So medyo expensive talaga. But in the Philippines, 30 pesos excise tax. Is it enough to bring down or to decrease the smoking prevalence? So we need also to take into account that our population is increasing. Since the population is increasing, the smoking population increases as well, meaning your base increases. So kahit na nagdagdag ka ng 30 pesos excise tax, still, yung smoking prevalence is increasing because your population is increasing. So hindi sufficient yung 30 pesos na yun. Another is, our economy is growing. Ang ibig sabihin ng economy is growing, more labor force are now employed. If they are employed, their salary or wages will be higher. Lalo na ngayon, the train law, di ba? Sa train law, our income tax decreases from 32% to 30%. And then, for the following tranche, from 30 magiging 25 and then magiging 20% income tax. So the 2% reduction of our income tax is significant dun sa take-home pay natin. If the take-home pay is higher, then more money for the smoking population to spend, no, for pack of cigarettes. So yun yung impact ng growing economy naman. Then another issue is the food and poverty threshold. So here, this is a 2009 data no, from PSA. Hindi ko na in-update kasi the trend is the same, increasing. So the monthly per capita food threshold of a person in 2009 is 974 pesos. Ibig sabihin, monthly, nag-spend yung average person ng 974 pesos for food lang. Then, yung monthly per capita per poverty threshold naman is 1,403 pesos per person for food then. No. Okay. Pero for a family of 5, budget for food will be 4,800 pesos noong 2009. And then the monthly poverty threshold naman, food and other needs, kunyari, electricity, clothes, housing, transport, is 7,000 pesos, 7,017 pesos. Meaning, that is yung the poverty line. So below that will be below the poverty line ka na. Then beyond 7,000, you are above poverty line. Yun lang yun.
Sir, ito ba yung recently updated ng NED? The data was 2009. Pero yung, di ba, recently
yes,
nilabas na about 10,000?
Yes, so the 10,000 pesos threshold for a family of 5 is yung poverty line yun. Meaning, for you to be able to survive, kailangan mo ng ganun amount para mag-survive yung family of 5. So, if it doesn't mean na kapag 10,000, beyond 10,000 ka, you will be less poor. If below 10,000 ka, more poor ka. Hindi ganun. The definition is for you to be able to survive. So, iba pa yung definition ng poor and then so yung rich. So, kaya we have income classes, no? Class A, B, C, D, and E. So, middle income class will be class C. And the definition of middle income class is varies, no? Depends on the country. So US, middle income class is you have your house and lot, and then you have 2 cars. Then your kids go to school. So yun yung middle income class sa US. You have your own house and lot, and then you have 2 cars. But for the Philippines, iba yung definition ng middle income class. No? So with that, how does health services affects the food and poverty threshold? No? If this is the population, can they demand more goods and services on health? Can they consume more goods and services on health? Makakapag-demand ba sila ng health services from the hospitals, no? The services from the doctors, nurses, or they will go to public hospitals. But if they're going to go to ask for the services coming from the public hospitals, do we need the resources? Meron ba tayong enough public hospitals to cater that population? Enough nurses, doctors, medical staffs, equipments, medicines? Kaya medyo mahaba pila doon sa top avenue, di ba? Sa PGA. So then, the magnitude of poor families in 2009 was 3.8 million poor families. So how do we solve the problem of having 3.8 million poor families with regards to health services? So hindi kaya ni PGH to cater all the 3.8 poor families, no? Kasi yung 3.8, since they are poor, so they cannot afford to go to private hospitals. Then, just like what we mentioned kanina regarding the economic growth, so, pero there's an issue regarding economic growth and health services. So, if the economy is growing, more employment, more salary, then they will demand more help. Pero, what if naman, if your population is not healthy, since they are not health priced to this plan to cater class D and E, but the function is the same. So, may ganong issue din. So, you can focus also on that kung may research kayo. Then unemployment. So, kanina, I mentioned that if the employment increases, more people will have more salary, then the demand for help will increase. And then, if more people are unemployed, they cannot consume goods and services on help, then their productivity decreases, no? And it will have a negative effect or impact to our economy. Then regarding syntax pala kanina, we surveyed students in this area, and then sabi nila, if the price of a stick of cigarette is 1 peso, then they will buy more on a daily basis. If the price of cigarette per stick is 5 pesos, they will still consume more cigarettes, pero on a daily basis. Pero instead of 10 sticks per day, magiging 7 sticks per day. If the price of stick of cigarette is 10 pesos, they will still consume on a daily basis, but from 10 sticks, magiging 4 to 5 sticks na lang. But still, they are consuming on a daily basis. So, ano ba yung definition ng smoking prevalence, di ba? Di population yan. Hindi naman per stick eh. So, ang tatanong, are you smoking? Are you smoking every day? Yan yung natanong eh, di ba?
Yes.
And then in the FNRI data naman, may question sa FNRI data na if you're consuming on a daily basis ba, weekly basis, and then how many sticks on a daily basis, how many sticks on a weekly basis, and then in the FNRI data then, they determine how many smokers are male and then how many are female. And then before, malaki yung frequency of male compared sa female. Pero ngayon, nag-equal sa yung male and female, and then lumagpas si female compared to sa male. It is because of the gender equality in the industry. Before, malaki yung frequency ng male employees, no? Male workers, than the female. Eh ngayon, halos pantay na yung frequency ng workers between male and female. So, yung female, may money na to consume something. Or maybe because of stress-related or work-related, no? Particularly on the in the call center, no? So, break time nila is to smoke. Then just like what I mentioned earlier, the population. So if the population, as the population increases, demand for health increases, demand for skin services increases, and derma. No? So between needs and wants, the needs is yung for them to be able to survive. No? They will need goods and services on health for them to be able to survive. While for wants, they want goods and services for them to be able to improve their body or their appearance, no? Yung sa derma, same with our eyeglasses. We wanted to improve our vision. So, yun yung difference between the needs and wants. So, without improving your physical appearance, you will still survive. Then, this is regarding, this is from the Health Systems in Transition 2011 data. So, the number of doctors in Metro Manila was 4,100 doctors. Outside Metro Manila, in Luzon, 2,000. Visayas, 1,100. Mindanao, 678, internal medicine. So why is it that more doctors are in Metro Manila? And why is it that Visayas Mindanao has less than 2,000? So, may ano bang issue doon, no? Is it because the affordability ng doctors?
Population concentration.
Because of the demand, no?
Okay.
Mataas yung demand sa Metro Manila compared to other regions. The density, population density of a specific area. So since populated si Metro Manila, more demand, so we need to supply more sa Metro Manila. Pero why is it not, hindi sila equally distributed? No? Is it because sa Visayas, maraming islands doon, then it will be difficult for the private sector and for the government to supply health care or health services? Why is it in Mindanao, we only have 670 doctors? So ano bang issue meron doon?
Peace and conflict.
So yun.
Medical.
Then sa cardio, we had before na 1,000 doctors. Derma, 1,000 doctors din. So equal yung supply, almost equal yung supply ng cardio and derma. No? Is it because mataas yung demand ng population para sa services from the cardio and equal yung demand ng population sa services coming from the derma? So you can analyze the figures, no? For you to be able to include in your research. Then for the last slide, so if you have some assumption or claims or theory, then you need to validate that using models. No? So regression models.
Yan na, wala na. Yan na sila.
Hindi, last slide na ba?
Pagkakita pala nila, nag-react na eh.
So for the last slide, sa health expenditure. So health expenditure is a function of population, inflation, government expenditure, tax collection, and the economy or GDP. So here, we are trying to determine the effect or impact of population to health expenditure. If the population increases, how much yung increase dapat on the health expenditure? If the prices or the general price level is increasing or inflation is increasing, what will be the effect or impact of that on the health expenditure? And then government expenditure. So right now, the budget is 1 trillion, 3 trillion pesos. I forgot na. So in trillion budget, yung the budget of the government for 2019-2020. So is it correlated to health expenditure? Tax collection. So kung mataas ang tax collection, more budget, then more health expenditure. Then if the economy is growing, then more tax collection, more budget, then more health expenditure. Smoking prevalence, because of sin tax, smoking prevalence decreases or increases or insignificant. Kapag insignificant, meaning hindi enough yung excise tax na yon to bring down smoking prevalence. Then population, as population, just like what I mentioned earlier, yung sa graph, increasing yung population, then because of that, the smoking population or your base increases as well. And then what will be the impact of that to the smoking prevalence? If the price of cigarette is 100 pesos per stick, so ano yung effect niya sa smoking prevalence? Pero in Congress, sa House of Representatives and sa Senate, some of the House of Representatives and some of the senators are advocating na the excise tax should be increased. So may sinabi kaming computation or formula na merong 50 pesos excise tax, may 100 pesos excise tax. So meron doon. So of course, the policymakers wanted to implement that. Kaya lang, alam natin na the industry will try to bargain from the policymakers na if you will increase the excise tax to 50 or 100 pesos per stick, per pack, it will have a negative implication to our workers, to the tobacco farmers, to the tobacco industry. So may mga ganong issue doon. Pero then again, what is the focus, what is the objective of the government? Is it the health condition of the labor force or yung a certain industry na sobrang liit yung contribution niya sa economy? So, it depends on the focus of the government. Then, kanina, I mentioned the medical tourism. No? So, what will be the impact or contribution of medical tourism to agri-sector? So, kapag medical tourism, so nagpa-check up sila sa doctor, sa hospital, after nila magpa-check up, mamamasyal na, pupuntang Boracay. So, pagdating sa Boracay, kakain. So, ano ba yung food na yun? So, yung food is fish, pork, vegetables, no? Poultry, or kung ano, shrimp, mga ganun, fruits. So, may impact yon sa agri-sector. Then, employment. So, nagpa-check up sila. After pa-check up, pumuntang Boracay. So, mataas yung volume na pumunta sa Boracay. Then, yung services, no? For them to be able to cater those foreigners. Yung sa hotel, sa restaurant. And then, because of that, agri contributes to the economy, employment contributes to the economy. So, we can assume that medical tourism contributes positively to the economy. Then last is the causality between the economy and good health. So ito yung mention ko kanina. So you have here the economy and then you have here yung good health. Because of good health, yung labor force mo contributes positively to the economy. Or because of growing economy, may budget for to be able to fund health services, then yung health index of your population increases. So, which is which done, no? So, that is what we call causality. Is it the economy affects good health or is it good health affects the economy? So, another study din. Okay?
Right.
Thank you.
Wow, I'm impressed. More than a Sir Ronnie, I'm impressed with you guys. I was anticipating that they would kind of tell.
Sir, I think you for insightful talks. May questions that you've mentioned about maximizing limited health resources. So, I'm curious about when it comes to like rare diseases and the expensive treatments that come along with it. Like, how do you strike a balance between ensuring equity and efficient allocation of resources when it comes to government budget?
So assuming that assuming that the government the government's concern is health,
Yes.
so the government can impose a policy from the Congress having a limit on the price of health services, or impose a holiday, tax holiday, or price ceiling. If the government is concerned with the health condition of the population. Pero, in reality, we know that the private sector will bargain sa Congress na we cannot do that kasi it will have a negative effect on the industry, sa hospitals namin, sa pharmaceutical industry. So, we are a private sector, kailangan mag-gain kami ng profit. So, may ganung issue doon. Sige. Kasi baka may masabi akong hindi maganda.
I'm also trying to make sense about it lang. So, what if the government's priority naman is health, but then it's a question of between like two health conditions. For instance, the government wants to provide treatment, but you have rare disease and then you have more prevalent conditions. So you have limited budget. Like, how do you make sure like you are able to provide treatment, but what do you prioritize? And how do you approach these kinds of issues?
Kasi, so, for the doctors, merong ano yan
Triage.
ethical concern, di ba?
Yes.
So, for example, in a family of 5, so the total income of the parents is 20,000 pesos. Meron siyang 3 children doon. Then, yung isa, may sakit, pero konti, madaling ma-cure. Yung isa, may sakit, pero may expensive ma-cure. So, 20,000 pesos. So, will the parent allocate equally? 50% goes to the first, and then the other 50% to the second? Or, total, madaling i-cure sa'yo, so yung isa muna. So, same condition for the government. Are we going to focus on malaria or HIV or ano ba yan? H1N1? Maternal health. So we have limited resources. So saan tayo magpo-focus?
Yes,
How many population ba yung affected ng malaria?
So based on prevalence.
It depends on
Depends on the
Kasi-
lobbyist.
Oh.
Depends on the politicians.
Depends on the lobbyist then. Funders.
Kasi for us, if mga tayo, advocates tayo, no? Health. So, gusto natin equal. No? Lahat ma-accommodate ni government. But there's an issue na limited yung budget of the government, limited yung doctors ni government, hospitals ni government. If you will focus on malaria, magrereklamo yung advocates na iba, diba? So, yung may ganong issue naman. So, that is why the Congress is trying to balance everything. Pero, in reality, hindi siya balance talaga. So, it depends on the priority or yung maingay. No? Kung sino yung mas maingay.
Emerging.
Depends din
Mga
kung
emerging.
lumalaban.
Thank you po.
May government ba dito?
I know ka government.
But I think this is a safe space for us, whether you're coming from the government or mismo under kay Duterte kayo na regime. I think we should be coming from a safe space, because if we're not gonna be accepting of ideas and critical of ideas, then why do social health, right?
Sige po.
Yes, sir, I'd like to add na lang. Parang currently naman, I can appreciate that we have programs na covering population-based concerns. Diba? Yun ang gear nga ngayon na universal healthcare. Pero we also have programs na nag-cover ng specific, like yung financially disabling condition. So yung may case-based system, or yung may case, yung C package, yung mga ganyan. And I think as researchers, siguro ang magandang ma-input natin ay yung data on how each disease affects this group of population, how much the government spends if this number of people experience this disease. Kasi I think kaya rin hindi nagkakaroon ng balance sa allocation is because hindi nila alam. Diba? Our policymakers, sige, they know policies, pero hindi naman sila hands-on sa ano ba yung impact ng diseases. Will it be favorable if we focus on population-based over individual-based? So, ayan. So, I think we have to do more research.
And that is the importance sa contribution ng the technical working group, no? So, if the TWG will inform the policymakers, ilabas niya lahat ng information, then, more or less, mas knowledgeable yung mga policymakers natin. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon po. Much of the discussion is on the effect of economy on the health of populations. But may I ask something about something that is more on the effect of health on the economy? Because right now, one of the studies that I am trying to conceptualize is it's similar to opportunity cost. Ikwento ko na lang din na I'm thinking kasi, for example, kapag ganito kadaming mga kabataan ang namatay, may nawawala tayong investment dito eh. So is there an existing formula that we can use in order to calculate? For example, if ganito kadaming kabataan which are part of the labor force ang namatay for this year, do we have a formula to compute kung magkano yung nawala sa atin bilang isang buong society?
So here, dito sa GDP, so you can enhance the model by including other factors. So that's why we have here the E. It means that we did not capture all the factors that may affect the economy. So you still keep on including other factors for us to be able to determine their contribution or their impact to the economy. So, pwedeng population or i-divide mo yung population by income class or by specific sector, by age, by sector, or by gender, or for to be able to determine kung ano yung impact ng class A, B, C, D, E doon sa health expenditure, or yung the toddlers, teens, adults, or by age, ano yung impact niya dun sa health expenditure or sa economy din. So, yun, pwedeng i-slice yun.
Thank you, sir.
If I just may add something, so ayun, me and Tel and Kai, we're from the DOH. And me and Tel particularly, our task is to look into it is assessing health technologies. One of our major job is to look if particular intervention or technology is cost effective or not. So we use economic models, we use economic evaluation. And siguro just adding on to the topic of what could be explored in economic evaluation is, yun nga, what we do is we compare different alternatives, and to make it, I think to make it simpler, we are looking if the benefits of an alternative, parang sulit ba siya for the cost that it would give it. Yeah, is it sulit? And then other than that, we also look into budget impact, etc., etc. Now, I think one of the gaps in knowledge that is needed for research well, other than economic evaluation, kasi honestly, there are a lot of work to be done on economic evaluation, is yung parang cost of illness studies. Kasi, yun, we need a cost library na nagpuput na ito yung cost in different facilities, cost of different procedures, etc. etc. Kasi, actually, that's one of the vision din of the unit na magbuo ng cost library. And of course, I mean, it couldn't be done by a single unit lang naman. And I'm just bringing it up kasi it's a good opportunity, especially that we're all trying to write something about research on something. So you might want to explore into the cost of a certain illness and, well, budget impact, etc. And syempre, on top of economic models kasi, health technology assessment also look into social relevance of intervention. So, hindi naman kasi siya, porket parang ito yung cost is close case na siya na, mas mura siya. Kasi, it depends din sa acceptability, feasibility, kung ethically acceptable ba siya sa mga tao. So, yeah, I think those are like areas na we all as researchers can contribute. Yes.
Regarding the medical tourism, yung na-mention kanina, we submitted data to DTI-BOI regarding yung cost of services, cost of health, no, in different countries. Sa Philippines, magkano ba yung cost of health for hearing heart disease, lungs, cancer, and then we compared those figures to other ASEAN countries, including Thailand, Singapore, Vietnam, and then we also included other Asian countries like Japan, Korea, and India, no? Para magkaroon ng comparison, and then we wanted to promote na affordable yung cost of medical service sa Philippines compared to other countries. Pero, it is also difficult for us to promote yung ganon, no? Kasi may na-establish na yung relationship between European countries and Thailand. So, meron na silang memorandum between particularly Germany and Thailand. So, kapag may nagkasakit sa Germany, alternative will be Thailand. So, di tayo nakapasok doon kasi naunang mag-MOA si Thailand compared sa Philippines. Di tayo nakasabay doon. So, ang kinikita na lang natin is from the US and some parts of Europe na lang. So, pero Germany, medyo maliit yung market natin kasi na-capture na siya ng Thailand. And then yung sinabi din regarding the equipment, so mayroon kaming in-identify na 10 hospitals, Metro Manila and Visayas. And then ito yung specialization sa Metro Manila ng hospitals na to. And then ito yung sa specialization ng hospital sa Visayas, particularly Cebu. Then yung mga doctors, specialization nandun. So para ma-promote sa abroad, and then alam ko saan pupunta. So partnership with the DFA and the Philippine Retirement Authority and DOH then. So yes, it is expensive to promote, to advertise. So you can do a study on that.
Sure, I have a question.
Sorry, last question na po, because we have to move on to qualitative research.
Sige. Sorry. Sure, tanong ko. Di ba na-mention nyo kanina na may mga, yung din pala sa costing, di ba nung nag-compare kayo, kasali ba yung transportation cost?
Yes. Transportation cost, and then yung infrastructure, accessibility, hindi lang specifically on health, no? Yung other areas din. The water, electricity, may access to water ba yung area? may access to electricity by area,
Pati hotel
telecommunication,
accommodation, ganun.
the accommodation. Kasi baka pupunta doon, hospital lang. Tapos pagtapos na ng check-up, wala nang ano. So, bakit pupunta pa yung foreigner doon? So, kaya we try to capture everything, including basic necessities din.
Tatanong ko, sir, no? Sorry, intro pala yung question eh. Kasi naisip ko, kung may studies na gumagawa ng ganun, meron kayo, is there a chance na magkaroon ng study, yung pagbibuild ba ng mga infrastructures, I mean, ng government, di ba, dun sa, kung saan sa rural facilities, o kung hindi ba mas cost-effective na mag-establish ka ng functional na referral or yung transport, yung mag-focus ka doon to facilitate, parang, or paano ba gagawin pag gusto mong mag-gano'n ng costing? Kasi multi-million din naman ang mga buildings, tapos kung wala din namang tao, hindi rin naman siya nagpa-function.
So, part of the meeting, sa industry roadmap, is yung the government and the private sector. We tried to invite yung DPWH, DOTC at that time then. So, based from the meeting, we found that in certain areas, may road infrastructure, pero yung tumbok, dead end. Ibig sabihin, instead of providing the infrastructure to the basic needs of the population, yung infrastructure na pupunta sa ibang lugar,
Road to my farm. Road to my resort.
okay, for example, may tulay, pero di naman kailangan ng tulay doon. Or may road,
divert yung farm.
pero di naman, walang pupuntahan yung road na yun.
Nadaanan lang ng right of way.
Pero
Bumili ng right
pero
of
meron.
way.
So, yeah, it is very difficult to convince yung the government to...
Pero is it possible to conduct costing for that?
Yes, ma'am. So, may ginawa kami ganun dati. The infrastructure, water, electricity, communication, accommodation, part ng costing yun. So, meron kaming na-establish na figure naman doon.
Okay po.
Then, lastly, so since we are focusing on the health services, no? So, majority na sa Metro Manila, konti yung outside Metro Manila, konti yung Visayas Mindanao, and then the government is promoting federalism. So, the other provinces can really accommodate the demand of their population or provide health services. So, it is also an issue there. Okay.
Sorry, I know you still have so many questions for Sir Ronnie.